Jadyn, how excited are you? I mean, you've been to the NCAA championships before. Now they're back here at Hayward, and you're doubling. I mean, what are the emotions going into next week?
I'm really excited for this week, actually. I mean, obviously being able to have a championship at home is always really fun. And of course, since this is my last one, it's like, there's a lot of emotions kind of going around. But yeah, I'm really excited, especially that I am able to double and then also have the relay. So this will be my first time having 3 events at Outdoor Nationals. So it should be really fun.
I'll add on to the fact that you guys are in the hunt for the team title as well. What would that mean to end an Oregon career, with a national championship?
Yeah, that would be crazy. Obviously we have just, people in just every event area all around. So it's like, it's really exciting just to be out there and, be, encompassed by so many like great athletes and just everybody doing their best in their respective areas. So it should be really fun. I mean, obviously, yeah, if we were able to go out there and have a team title as well, that'd be really great. But yeah, just obviously being here, being at home, having a little home crowd advantage should be really fun. So yeah.
Jadyn, do you look at the landscape and see who's running well in the 100, who's running well in the 200, and maybe kind of try to formulate a time that you might have to run?
A little bit. I'm kind of like just a track fan, so I like watching like, when the East goes and like when other people are going in different heats other than my own. So obviously like I do pay attention to it. Like I just like watching track, so I just kind of pay attention to it just because of that. But yeah, I obviously know like I'm going to have to run fast regardless of who's in my heat because there's so many great women that are going to be competing against in the 4x1, the 1 and the 2. So I don't really think of like times per se, like that I have to go run in like heats or rounds, but I do know that everyone is going to be running really fast. So it's going to be like all out for pretty much all the races. So yeah.
Do you think your experience is an advantage for you?
Yes, I do. I do think that. I think it was kind of the same thing like with indoor. Like that was my 3rd trip to indoor nationals as well. And I think, just having the experience and also just kind of coming off of like Pac-12s as well. That was my 4th Pac-12 championship that I was able to run in. So yeah, I think my experience is going to carry over to when I come run at nationals, just because, being on the stage, like it's different for a lot of people. Like obviously, like when I was a freshman, like it was a little bit more nerve-wracking. My first one was actually here too. So it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was fun, being on the home crowd and home turf. But yeah, I think now that I'm a senior and I've, run in a couple of championships now, like it is going to carry over and be able to help me through these rounds. So, yeah.
What are your thoughts on just the team competition and what you think Oregon can do?
Yeah, I think just because we have so many women in so many different events, like we do have a shot to go out there, kind of shock some people in some events and get a lot of points in areas, that we can, like having multiple people in certain events and areas like that. So I think we do have a chance to, go out there and put down some good numbers and some good places that could really help us for a team title.
You've been here with Jada the whole time. What are your thoughts on what she's been able to accomplish this year and where she's at going into her final championship meet?
Jada's great. I love Jada. We came in together. But yeah, no, she's an amazing athlete. I mean, obviously, she was throwing great when she was first here too. But like, obviously, this year was just shocked like everybody of like, how well she's been doing. And, I do take, like what she's doing and kind of like try to piggyback off that. Like we talk, like when we're downstairs, like in the team areas and things like that. Like I talked to her before. I'm like, how are you feeling? Like, you feel good? You're about to go out there and do your thing? And she's like, yeah. She talks to me like about my races too. Obviously, we're like 2 completely different event areas, but like we still can, talk and have like, have each other like to talk about like, the events and things that we're going to go out there and do. And she's just doing such an amazing job that, I go out there and I'm like, yes, I got to like do the same thing. And she was even saying like after like the prelim at regionals when I ran, because I had ran 1087 in the prelim, and I guess there was like a video like right after it was put out, so she saw it before she had to go throw a shot, and she was like, Jane, can you give me a celebration? Like, I need one. Like, what's going on? And I was just like, it just comes. Like, I don't really think about it. It just comes. But then right after that is when she went through 20 meters. So it was like, dang, I wish I had something for you. I wish I did. So, yeah.
What did that 1087 do for your confidence?
That first one, so, I mean, that was in the prelim. And, like, yeah, it was wind dated, like, pretty heavily. But it was, like, when I saw the time, it was pretty, I mean, I was shocked just seeing it because I felt like I had just ran that race like super comfortably, and it was just like really calm, and I was like wasn't really expecting to see such a drop, even though it was wind aided like heavily in the prelim, that I wasn't really just expecting to see that much of a time, just because I was so comfortable running that race that I was like, okay, we might be, like working with something like here coming the final. So yeah, it did a lot for my confidence, like just to be able to see such a huge like time drop like from the last time I ran. So yeah.
Yeah, wind aided or not, seeing that time pop up has to be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, yeah, so when that was in the prelim, and then when I came back in the final and ran 10:83 again, it was like, okay, yeah, we're working with something right now. So yeah, it should be good.
When you mentioned, the experience you have, as when you guys were down in Fayetteville and you qualified for the 100 and 200, that schedule of having to flip from one event to the next, do you think you'll be able to adapt that here as well? I'm sure you've looked at the schedule. I mean, is that something you have to really take a meticulous look at and make sure the times and get your body ready for the next event?
Yeah, my coaches are really like meticulous about like time, so like they always know like what it's gonna be like when the time comes. So like we kind of practice with it, like they know that like, okay, I'm gonna run the one, and it's like, hey, as soon as you're done running the one, take your shoes off, cool down, do what you gotta do, get some fluids in your body, whatever, and then we gotta warm right back up at this time. So we know like how the schedule gets around like doubling, and that's why it does get a little hard like towards like the end of the season, because it's such high level competition, like running like and exerting so much energy in both of those races. It does get a little bit hard like to try to do the sprint double, but like I think we're ready for it, just because obviously like regionals is kind of the same setup. So yeah, it should be good. Like we're kind of prepared to it's going to be kind of back and forth. It's kind of quick. It's not, you get a whole bunch of rest time and all of that. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to the final day, I think once the final day rolls around, like obviously if you make it through the rounds, it's kind of just about who has the most heart at that point. It's kind of like you're just going out there and just trying to do your best.